Okay, the form of the pyramid, Satan. All right. So, give you a backdrop of what's going on as a person is actually going through like an initiation, like kind of dreaming and having visions and speaking to Ptahhotep. So she's like this person is actually a woman. So actually, the author's name is actually the name of this book is called The Initiation. You see the Hawk of Heru or the Hawk of Horus by Elizabeth Hayek. Okay, I'm not trying to lose my page. All right, so every time I read, I will show you what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? So you can see I'm not making up anything. And you know, these are different publications I go through. So if I'm going through them, I want you to see it. So I'm not just making up anything. I'm not a charlatan. I don't get no money from these videos. I do it because I know I can do it. I can put the information out. That's what's important. They say the Illuminati, the Illuminati. Yeah, the real conscious, the real enlightened ones. That's what it means to bring light, to illuminate. Now check this out. To illuminate. Oh, I have an idea. You bring it from the darkness. You go deep. You dig deep, and you bring it up to your mind. And some people can't really reach their pineal gland like that, and they burn up. But when you come up with it, ah, now I get it. When you see cartoons, when they see the light bulb go off, bing, they illuminate to illuminate a room. When it's dark in the room, you want to see, you turn the light switch on. That means to illuminate, to shed light, to have information. Now you can see, oh, now I see what you're saying. Oh, I feel you. Oh, I see the light now. So you can dig it? All right, let's get back to it. So Satan's not a bad person. So Jesus, you gotta look at Jesus' story is the same as Satan or Prometheus, same thing. He brought the light to us. The tube of fire. The fire is the Kundalini. Okay, so the tube of fire. Restolen from the gods. Okay, let me get back to this part that I was something told me to get into. All right, here we go. Okay, such a person uses the material square shape only as a secure. You know what? Okay. Yeah, let me do it like this. On the other hand, a person who uses his body, his thoughts, words, and deeds only to manifest the divine creative principle while leaving the characteristics of his physical existence, his person. See, we're not the body, we're the mind. This body is his person. Like say you had a gun in your person. So they know this when they say stuff like that, they already know we're not these bodies. And we say I don't you know what I'm saying, my person. So it's just language. See on his person. So we're not these bodies. We're our minds. Remember in a previous video, we are only thoughts. Children are only thoughts. Your ideas. So we are only thoughts in a new body. In the unmanifested, let me see. In the make sure you see it. In the unmanifested state, such a person to continue using the same figure of speech is like a cut cube where corners and inner content are turned outward so that its inner triangles, the equilateral triangles of the divine tetrahedron, are visible. Such a person uses the material square shape only as a secure base in the three-dimensional world, allowing his weight to rest on his base. But the shape of the cut cube turned inside out is the pyramid. Thus we see the pyramid is the symbolic form of the God-man. Bum, bum, bum. See? Who reveals his divine, selfless nature and completely manifests God on earth, the salvation of the earth. The spiritualization of matter is completed in the person of the God-man. The divine self, the creator, is seated in complete majesty on its throne and rules over matter, over the body. So when they say in the Bible, the pineal gland. So that's where your spark sit, transforming your spark. Remember, they transform into something way more than what they really, what they show. See, these movies are not just entertainment. These movies are actual mythology put in entertaining form. So they always give you the story, but it's up to you. See, now look at this part again. And see, it's up to you. Okay, is seated in complete majesty on its throne and rules over matter, over the body. So it's up to you to get it over in your mind that this is the illusion, and the entertaining part is to elude you away from what's actually going on in the story, so you can get it. See, it's just almost like the illusion, like if you look at it as entertainment, these movies, or do you look at it as, hey, I know this is tended to make me laugh, but you can look past the laughter and you can laugh with it, and then they're giving you a message at the same time. But it's up to you to remember what you're laughing at, or remember what they put in there in the movie to real quick, something that was really important in the movie. Okay? So have complete majesty on, that's very powerful. God, man, having complete majesty on its throne and rules over matter, over the body. Okay? By the way of contrast, a symbolic representation of materialistic man who uses his intellect for the service of his material being is the cross, or a T. See, remember when Terrell Owens, see, you can take her to different dimensions. We can just drop to like the third real quick and then come back out. I remember I used to watch football. I stopped watching it like 2-3 years ago. So Terrell Owens used to play for the 49ers. He used to play for the Eagles. He used to play for the Cowboys and the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, remember he used to run to the Dallas Cowboys star, and oh man, I just thought about something as a 49er, and stand on top of the star in the center of the field and put his arms out. Remember that? Now, fast forward, he became an Eagle, right? Time out. Rewind back to when he was with the 49ers doing that. Remember who hit him? When he did that I wish I had the maybe I should try to find it. When Roy Williams hit Terrell Owens when he was standing on top of the 50-yard line at the Dallas Stadium and put his arm out. It's almost like he was on the cross. That was symbolically. Remember, okay, so we go from there. This is all ritual. Remember, this is all ritual. Remember, this is all entertainment. Remember, but it's all ritual at the same time. Remember, they want to entertain you, so it's always up to you to get the story. Okay, so fast forward, he goes to the Eagles, right? Remember, Philadelphia is the first city. 1776, like thing. Remember, Philadelphia, the Liberty Bell. Think about it. So he goes, him and McNabb, they breaking all kind of records, right? But they have a game against their rivals, the Eastern Conference, or East rival, NFC East rival. And next thing you know, the Cowboys are playing against the Dallas Cowboys are playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's running up the field. Terrell Owens is with the football, right? And guess who tackles him from behind? Roy Williams. When he tackles him from behind, he tears his Achilles heel. He tears his Achilles heel. Guess who had the same injury the same way? Bo Jackson. But Bo Jackson never came back. Remember that? He was never really the same. He never came back. He was never the same. So remember that. So Terrell Owens, if you in the sports, like you was physically playing a game or you was watching the sports, he was looked at as a physical specimen throughout the sports world. Like he's tall, strong as a receiver. So crazy. So he got into the hyperbolic chamber. So they won the NFC East, I believe, really early. I know for sure, for a fact. And they were the Cowboys, their rival. They were beaten so bad at the time. He tackled them from behind and tore his Achilles heel. So now if you fast forward, look, and when he said, so they already got the East. He said, I'm gonna rest up and get in my hyperbolic chamber. Wait a minute. Bum bum bum. So Terrell Owens got into a hyperbolic chamber, just like Michael Jackson did too. So Terrell Owens got into the hyperbolic chamber. He said, I'm gonna play by the Super Bowl. He said, we're gonna play and the Eagles got to the Super Bowl, right? So he got to play. He said, I'm gonna get into my hyperbolic chamber. But I just realized hyperbolic chamber, that works, it heals on your body. When it heals on your body, but it's really your mind, because you're receiving a lot of oxygen. So if you're receiving a lot of oxygen, your mind is becoming strong. So back to what they just said here, the God man, the face of God is what? The God pineal, the mind, pineal gland. He was always dancing in the end zone, dancing as like chaos. He's formulating his chaos. He set it up to do this dance or celebration. He used to always get fined. Terrell Owens used to get fined, so he had a lot of it. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's why he had a lot of magic. So he came back to the Super Bowl, which, if you look at one of my past videos, you can use your own magic or come up with your own ritual during Super Bowl. And he did that. Well, you can do that on Super Bowl day. So that's the God man. So, and then they ended up losing because he actually came back and played in that game. But the hyperbolic chamber pretty much works the mind neurons and all that. So the mind is healing the body actually faster. So something to think about. But crazy. He used to always do that. Stand on top of the thing, and then he had lost everything. It's all ritual. Remember, he had lost everything. He was on that show. He was sleeping on somebody's mattress or air mattress, and now he's starting to get his money back again. It's all ritual. Everything is starting to rise back again. It's the timing. I have one video I'm probably just dropping now while I'm recording this. It's called the Epoch, 5,000 years to 25,000 years. 25,000 years is a terrestrial year. Okay. All right, by the contrast, okay, the C. Let me get back to here, the reading. By way of contrast, a symbolic representation of a materialistic man who uses his intellect for the service of his material being is the cross. Okay, the body is the cross. And they said he was on the cross. That was his body. He was leaving his body, going to a higher self, or a T formed out of the four squares making up the surface of the cube on this cross. Or T, the secret indwelling divine self, is crucified. In such persons, you see the pictures. In such persons, divinity is robbed of his power. Being your higher self. See, so-called Jesus and Satan is this one and the same. They have to rise themselves up. It cannot manifest itself and is subject to the laws of the material world. It is crucified on the two great beams of the three-dimensional world, on time and space, and dies on this cross of matter. See? And dies. See, time and space. When we make time exist, when you're not paying attention to time, it flies. But when you steady, oh, I can't wait to get off work, it goes even slower. Just find something to get you busy and think about something else, and the time will just fly on time and space and dies on this cross of matter. In death, however, is not final, even in the consciousness that has sunk down to the lowest level. The divine creative self sometime undergoes resurrection and saves the suffering human being, materialistic man, in his ignorance through crucifying his own higher self, God within himself. See? Within himself, within the body, because the body is just a vehicle, just to get information and get something accomplished. Creatures ceaseless tortures and sufferings for himself. He becomes the criminal who is also crucified beside the divine one. The pains awaken him. The higher consciousness is aroused, and with the resurrection of his divine self, he experiences his own salvation because he recognizes himself in himself. See, emphasis on all of that. Don't get caught up in the matrix or the illusion, or what the Tibetan calls Maya. Maya means illusion. The members of the divine race who fled to the far corners of the earth carried these symbols with them wherever they went, proclaiming to humanity the secret, hidden truth within them that every part of the earth people will find. These symbols in stone and metal, baked clay in various sizes, large or small. Most people will believe that they represent a person who has been crucified, and only a few will recognize that the representation symbolizes the divine creative principle crucified on the two beams of time and space. While you here in what? Physical matter. See, it's not Black Lives Matter, it's dark matter. See, if we look at ourselves as dark matter, we don't have to make all that matter because everybody else is going to run to all of that. See, it's up to the ones that's really going to do the actual spiritual work. So we know the time is changing. You can't make everything that's physical become matter. Oh, like I say it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Mind over matter. Matters is what's things around you. It took me a while to get that. You know, so I've been here so many times. I'm like, and I seen it, I'm like, man, this stuff, like, when I was getting younger, like 20 something, I felt like a change was coming. It's like, I've been here too many times. I was like, I was like so naive and young about it. But I was like, when I got older, I was like, things are changing. And like something, it really woke me up. So when I started seeing the mind started coming up over the matter, that means you're starting to dematerialize the actual brain. See? Spiritualization of matter. The salvation of the earth. The spiritualization of matter. To become this, the Merkaba. In creation they rule as two opposite laws, the law of spirit and the law of matter. These two tetrahedrons represent the innermost law of the recognizable world, the inseparable relationship between the two complementary halves, the positive and the negative, a female and a male, which self-contained each within each other, form a perfect equilibrium and sit as creative spirits, Ashe, on the right hand and the left hand of divinity. In creation, they rule as two opposite laws, the law of spirit and the law of matter. See, that's the Merkaba. Ashe. Mind, body, and soul. See, the law of spirit and the law of matter. the Merkaba. Merkaba. Mind, spirit, and body. The soul, pretty much. Ka. Soul, the double soul. They say go to your dark. You can't have light without the dark. And what is Satan? Is a light bringer. See? Light, illuminate, Illuminati. See? That's not like 13 families mean, listen, looking up, look up, listen up. 12, you guys, 12 zodiac, 12 disciples, 12 months in a year. So they say the 13 family, they're trying to scare you into like the Exxon and all that. It's part of the illusion, Maya. 12, you have your 12, yeah, look at it like that. So become all 12. The materialization, that's, and then that's the mind. Become all 12, and then use the mind. You are your own savior, the dot on the inside. You got your circle. I got a circle of friends, but I'm an individual. So that means you are yourself, your higher self, your creative self. Okay, you are with the creator. So everything outside yourself is not just you, but you can become you got homeboys, you can probably do everything your homeboys do, but they'll probably, it's different things, because like say if you have a crew, everybody in the crew do different things. So if they do different things, a job can get accomplished quicker. So it's like using the Goetia, same thing. It's 72 Goetia. 12 times 6 is 72. 12 times 6, 666 is Satan, right? Is carbon. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons is carbon. Think about it. So if it's 6, 12 times 6, 7, that's Goetia, that's the brain. You can use your brain to control the body, and the mind is stronger to control the brain. And the brain controls the body, then you can control anything and everything around you, which is the circle. Everything you make in your body, the dot, when it's really your mind is the dot you control. So you become a beacon for shit, the things around you. You become a beacon. That's crazy. So if you look at it, when you become a beacon, pick up a stone, for example. I'm gonna just pick up something randomly. The power that makes it a stone and holds it together as matter is the very self-same law of resistance, tending to chill, harden, and hold everything together. As long as this law manifests itself in matter and as matter, the law is operating in its place and consequently in a divine manner. But inert matter becomes living matter when the divine spirit, the self, clothes itself in matter and becomes the flesh. The self life penetrates the inner matter, and out of the law of matter there arises a living spirit, the reflecting image, which has only been able to become spirit by virtue of the fact that God, as the self of the living creatures, as the self of the living creatures, has breathed his own life into matter as Satan. Okay? Come on, man. It's just all in how you look at it. Thus, you can see that Satan is the law of matter, come alive through the divine spirit. Satan lies dead in matter as its law, until with its own life, the divine spirit makes him come alive. See? Whenever man's consciousness identifies the law of matter so that his thinking, words, and deeds, instead of serving the divine law, serve the law of matter, man is bringing Satan to life. You say Teham in the Kabbalah, Teham, or you say it's in the Bible too. Teham is what? The snake, the serpent. Ooh, remember the serpent and snake? That's actually feminine currency, or feminine energy. Become the red and the green feminine energy to all the way up to the top. See? Both sides inside of the pyramid, right? Okay. I know sometimes it be, you got to take it there. You got to keep pushing. You got to stress it in order to make it stronger. But inert matter becomes living matter when the divine spirit, the self, clothes itself in matter and becomes flesh. The self, life, penetrates the inert matter, and out of the law of matter, there arises a living spirit, the reflected image which has only been able to become spirit by virtue of the fact that God, as the self of the living creatures, has breathed down his own life into matter as Satan. Thus you can see that Satan is the law of matter come alive through the divine spirit. Satan lies dead in matter as its law until with its own life the divine spirit makes him come alive. Whatever man's consciousness identifies itself with the law of matter, so that his thinking, words, and deeds, instead of serving the divine law, serve the law of matter. Man is bringing Satan to life. Man is becoming satanic himself. Without man, Satan cannot exist. For without the self of man, Satan is only an unconscious force, a necessary natural law of matter. Satan can come to life only to the consciousness of a person who identifies the law of matter, the law of the flesh, of the spirit, who identifies his consciousness with his person, with his lower nature. See, the lower nature had to rise up. See, Satan and Jesus have the same exact story. See, he had to rise. On the third day, you got the two physical eyes, and you got the first eye, not the third eye, because the third eye means the two physical eyes were first. See, but we read earlier, the mind is first. See, this is in reading and in writing. See, from the ancestors through a reputable source. You know what I'm saying? This is like Elizabeth Hayek. She's supposed to be a PhD in doctor, huh? So, see, information. Same shit. So, Satan can come to life only in the consciousness of a person who manifests the law of matter, the law of the flesh in his spirit, who, see, Merkaba, same thing, in his spirit, who identifies his consciousness with his person, with his lower nature, with the drives and urges dwelling in his flesh, with the urge of self-preservation to survive. So what are people doing? They said in the epochs, in the last video, they said people are going to die, they're wealthy, going to start falling away. It don't matter if you got money, survival, self-preservation, and the propagation of the species. Such a person manifests the centripetal congulating power to congulate, look that up, power of matter as spiritual characteristics such as avarice, envy, vanity, hard-heartedness, and selfishness. Selfishness. No living creature has ever met Satan by himself, for without man, Satan has no existence at all. Okay? So they say to sin is skin. So we living in this skin, we're living in sin, supposedly, huh? Okay. So that's why they're going to say Satan. Because Satan brought the music. The muse. Why you see so many people dying. When people be, what I'm saying, in the entertainment industry, people be dying the way they be singing or rapping about or whatever, they have to die that way. It's a contract. It's a contract. You can live like you're on heaven while you're here for the contract. So on the contract, you'll live like that. See? And then you'll die the same way you was like, you know what I'm saying, on rapping about or whatever movie you was in, you're gonna die the same way. It's always gonna be the same way. So stop signing contracts and get it the hard way. That's all you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to exist in this motherfucker while you're here, but don't sign them contracts. Okay? But I ain't gonna get into that, my story. But I'm just letting y'all know. If you're gonna do it, just do it while you work or whatever. Just an all an illusion anyway. But do something different with it. But I can't tell you what to do. But I'm just telling you the way I see it. See how these motherfuckers, if you get in the industry, you see what I'm saying? You're gonna have to go through that way when you sign them contracts. That's how you're gonna die. Okay, let me get into something really quick before I get ready to get out of here. The 30-minute video. But the consciousness of a person who has identified himself with the law of matter and thus becomes satanic himself dies with Satan and becomes unconscious after death. Satan draws him, his slave, into inert matter, into the darkness, into loss of consciousness, into himself, your true self, your real true reason why you come back to this third dimensional plane. 30-30. I'm out.